An even line, Theognis of Megara. I walk by rule and measure, and inclined on either side, but take an even line, fixed in a single purpose and design, of learning's happy gifts to celebrate, to civilize and dignify the state, not leaguing with a discontented crew, nor with the proud and arbitrary few. A secret spring, the Theognis of Megara. When only I quaffed yonder secret spring, 'twas clear and sweet to my imagining. 'Tis turbid now, it no more I drink, but hang or other stream or river brink. The time for wine, the Theognis of Megara. Know of it in mid-career, checking his force, bright sun pauses in his pride and force, and is prepared to dine, and eat and drink the best of everything that heart can think. And the shapely Spartan damsel fair bringeth with a rounded arm a graceful air, water to wash, and garlands for her hair. In spite of all the systems and the rules, invented and observed by sickly fools, let us be brave, and resolutely drink, not minding if the dogs there rise or sink. An Avenger for the state, the Theognis of Megara. Our state is pregnant, shortly to produce a rude avenger of prolonged abuse. The commoners therefore seem sober-minded, as superiors are corrupt and blinded. Rule of noble spirits, brave and high, never endangered peace and harmony. Supercilious, arrogant pretense of feeble minds, weakness and insolence, justice and truth and law wrestled aside by crafty shifts of avarice and pride. These are our ruins. Colonels never dream, tranquil and undisturbed as it may seem, of future peace or safety to the state. Bloodshed and strife will follow soon or late. Never imagine that a ruined land will trust a destiny to your command, to be remodeled by a single hand. Angry words, by Theognis of Megara. Rash, angry words, and unspoken out of season, and passion as upspurred the throne of reason, have ruined many. Passion is unjust, and for an idle, transitory gust of gratified revenge, dooms us to pay with long repentance at a later day. Beware crafty minds, Theognis of Megara. Let no persuasive art attempt you to place your confidence in crafty minds and base. I cannot answer, if the help avail, the danger press, and your foes assail, the blessing of your gods and bounty send, and they consent to share it with a friend. No, to bestrew the waves with scattered grain, cultivate the surface of the main, is not a task more absolutely vain than cultivating such allies as these, thick and unproductive as the seas. Such are all baser minds, never at rest, with new demands importunately pressed, a new pretension or a new request. To avoid the refusal of the last, they disavow obligations past. But brave and gallant hearts are cheaply gained, faithful adherents easily retained. Men will never disavow the debt of gratitude or cancel or forget. Easy friends, Theognis of Megara. Never engage the poltroon or craven, avoid them colonels as a treacherous heaven. These friends and hearty comrades as you think, ready to join you when you feast and drink, these easy friends from difficulty shrink. For shrewd intellect the blessed employ is to detect the cell of base alloy. No task is harder nor imports so much, silver or gold, you prove it by the touch. You separate the pure, discard the dross, disregard the labor and the loss. And a friend's heart abased and adulterate, a friendly service with a core of hate. Of all the frauds with which the fates have cursed, our simple easy nature is the worst. Beyond the rest ruinous in effect, and of all others hardest to detect. The man's and woman's hearts you cannot try beforehand like a cattle that you buy, nor human wit, nor reason, when you treat. For such a purpose can't escape deceit. Fancy betrays us, and assists the cheat. Fame, the Theognis of Megara. The generous and the brave, in common fame, from time to time encounter praise or blame. All get past unheeded, none escape scandal or insult in some form or shape. Most fortunate are those, alive or dead, of whom the least is thought, the least is said. Fate, the Theognis of Megara. No costly sacrifice, no offerings given, can change the purpose of the powers of heaven. Whether fate ordains danger heard or death predestined, nothing can avert. Hope, the Theognis of Megara. For human nature hope remains alone of all the deities, the rest are flown. Faith is departed, truth and honor dead, nor the graces too, my friends, are fled. The scanty specimens of living worth dwindled to nothing and extinct on earth. Yet whilst I live and view the light of heaven, since hope remains and never has been driven from a distracted world, the single scope of my devotion is to worship hope. When heather comes as slain the altars burn, when all the deities adored in turn, and hope be present. With hope, my friend, every sacrifice commence and end. At insolence, injustice, every crime, rape and wrong may prosper for a time. And shall they travel on to swift decay, or tread the crooked path and hollow way? Human nature, by Theognis of Megara. Learn, Kronos, learn to be an easy mind, accommodate your humor to mankind, and human nature, take it as you find. A mixture of ingredients, good or bad, such are we all, the best that can be had. The best are found defective, and rest for common use equal to the best. Suppose it had been otherwise decreed, how could the business of the world proceed? Fairly examined, truly understood, the man is wholly bad and wholly good, not uniformly wise. In every case, habit and accident and time and place affect us, as the nature of a race. Learning and wealth, by Theognis of Megara. Learning and wealth, the wise and wealthy find, and adequate to satisfy the mind, a craving eagerness remains behind. Something is left for which we cannot rest. The last something always seems the best, a something unknown, or something unpossessed. On arranged marriage, by Theognis of Megara. The daily marriages we make, where price is everything. For money's sake men marry, woman and marriage given. The child of ruffian that in wealth has thriven, may match his offspring with the proudest race, as everything is mixed, noble and base. On Inborn Traits, by Theognis of Megara. To rear a child is easy, but to teach morals and manners is beyond our reach. To make the foolish wise, the wicked good, that science yet was never understood. The sense of Aesculapius, if their art could remedy a perverse and wicked heart, might earn enormous wages. But in fact the mind is not compounded and compact of precept and example. Human art and human nature has no share or part. Hatred of vice, fear of shame and sin, are things of native growth, not crafted in. Else wives and worthy parents might correct in children's hearts each error and defect, whereas we see them disappointed still, and she no artifice of human skill can rectify the passions of the will. Poverty, by Theognis of Megara. For noble minds, the worst of miseries, worse than old age or wearisome disease, is poverty. From poverty to flee, for some toil precipitate into the sea, and for a fair escape to leap below. In poverty, dear Kronos, we forego freedom in word and deed, body and mind. Action and thought are fettered and confined. Let me then fly, dear Kronos, once again. Wide is the limits of the land and main from these entanglements. With these in view, death is the latter evil of the two. Pride in the state, by Theognis of Megara. Pride and oppressive rule destroyed the state of Magnesians, such was Smyrna's fate. Smyrna the rich and Colophon the great, and ours, my friend, will follow, soon or late. The Insolence of Wealth, by Theognis of Megara. The gods send insolence to lead astray the man whom fortune the fates betray, but destined to precipitate decay. Wealth nursed insolence, and wealth we find, when coupled with a poor and paltry mind, is evermore with insolence combined. Never in anger the meaner sort be moved to a contemptuous, harsh retort, deriding their distresses, and despise in hasty speech the wants and miseries. Jove holds the balance, and the gods dispense for all mankind riches and indigence. Wine, by Theognis of Megara. My brain grows dizzy, whirled and overthrown with wine. My senses are no more my own. The ceiling and the walls are wheeling round. But let me try, perhaps my feet are sound. Let me try with my remaining sense, for fear of idle language and offence. Worldly wisdom, by Theognis of Megara. The worldly minded and the worldly wise, in ignorance and arrogance, despise all talents and attainments but their own. Wisdom is theirs, who think, and theirs alone. No, the lessons of deceit and wrong, and point of fact, are neither hard nor long. Many know them, but a better will prohibits them from practicing the skill, some with a taste for good, and some for ill.